So here we are, last job of the day. We are doing another Red Sea tank. Now, this tank is doing great. It was a little bit low on nitrate, which caused some dulling of the corals. The problem, though, that we had in this tank was the phosphates were high, which was causing some green hair algae. And we've always had problems in this tank with green hair algae, but it's only in the sand. It's only in the substrate. I'm gonna get back to that. So we did a reflux treatment. This stuff right here, reflux. We did a treatment with this, treated the tank. So it's been about a week. I'm a little anxious to see how the treatment worked and if we put a dent in the hair algae in this tank. So let's go in and check it out. Wow, so look at this. All of the green hair algae, or most of it, is gone that was in the sand. I wish I would have done it before and after. It was just covered. All that was just covered. And what, a week later now? A week later, it's mostly all gone. So reflux definitely works. And the corals look great. Nice. Aptasia is doing great. Pavona is encrusting. I brought some more corals also. No, not yet. Oh, and that PC rainbow is just going crazy. Cool. And there's a monopore sponge boat. You can see the difference in that one. It looks much better. Now we had an Aptasia problem in the sump too. And we put this fish in here not long ago, which I have video of, to take care of some of the Aptasia that was growing in this refugium in the sump section, and he got rid of almost all of it. I'm shocked. There's still a couple of Aptasia there, but for the most part it's all gone. I mean, this was covered with Aptasia. All these cords were covered with Aptasia. Protein skimmer was covered with Aptasia. Wow, he's done an incredible job. Awesome. Here's a past video of what the tank looked like before we put the fish in there. You can see on the protein skimmer, the intake valve, there's Aptasia all over it. Aptasia all over these cords right here, on the glass, on the sidewalls. I mean, this tank was just completely just filled with Aptasia in the sump. So this Aptasia fish that you see in here right now, that was the original one we put in. That one didn't do a great job taking care of the Aptasia. So we put a second, bigger Aptasia eating fish in the tank, which literally wiped out the Aptasia within a matter of a couple of days. Now the thing is with this fish is they can be hit and miss. They don't always eat Aptasia. It's weird, right? But the fact is, if you put them in a tank that's fully stocked with coral and it's getting fed on the regular, they'll prefer, you know, the mice or shrimp and whatever other meaty foods you're feeding the tank. So I use them in filtration like this sump because it's kind of forcing their hand a bit. You know, I don't go out of my way to feed them. I let them focus on the Aptasia. I give them a couple days, and if they, about 3 days, and if they don't touch it, if they don't seem like they're gonna do it, then I will supplement it with some other fish food. I've stopped using them in display tanks because they're big coral nippers, and even though they might eat the Aptasia, they will definitely turn their attention to corals. And if you have LPS or certain zoanthids and pallies and stuff like that, they tend to nip them and irritate them, and to me it's just not worth it. I'd rather go in there with something like Aptasia and take care of it manually. The LPS coral are doing great. The zoas are taking off. This tank is about 1.5 years old. The thing you have to be careful with is with this Carib Sea black and white sand is it's magnetized, and when you're using a scraper, a magnet scraper, that little black sand granules can get caught in that magnet, and as you're going you can scrape the glass pretty easy, so you have to be careful with this substrate. It looks cool, but just keep in mind it's magnetized. Oh yeah, the monopore right there. All right, and you can see the difference of how pink that monopore is. All right, so we're gonna test nitrates and phosphates and see where we're at. And then I have some coral to add in here today too. And the other thing I want to point out is looking at this tank, you wouldn't know it has a top on it. Look how sleek this is. This is an acrylic top that we had custom made. But when you see it from, not a lot of people don't want tops on their tank because they think they look they're too distracting, but that one's clear, it's acrylic, it's good quality, and you can't even notice that it's on there when you're looking at the tank straight on. And then what they do is they cut out little entry points where you can feed the fish, or if you have power heads or stuff, they'll cut out little notches where you can run wires and stuff. I just wanted to share that, it's pretty badass. So again, here we are with our water test, and the darker the color, again, the higher the phosphate and nitrate. So the darker the green, the higher the phosphate. That's mid-level, that's probably 0.06. And the nitrate, you can see that's barely visible. So that's like probably less than 1. So the nitrates is still very low in this tank. So we still have a low nutrient issue problem with this tank. So we're gonna supplement that with some amino acids and some more heavy feeding. I'm also gonna go ahead in here with these pliers and frag some of this blue celestial coral, this soft coral here. Pull some of it out just because it grows like a weed. I love this coral, it's a great coral, but we don't want it taking over the tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that up a bit. So all in all, I'm really happy with the way this tank has come along. It's been, like I said, it's been a little over a year and it's just doing great. I also added 2 new corals in here today. I added what do we have here? I added a aquapora, which is right there to the right. And then to the left here, I added a blue trumpet coral, like a baby blue trumpet coral. So that is just like this green one up here, same type of coral, but in that baby blue, which it's one of my favorite coral. It's really hard to find that color. So I'm interested to see how the aquapora is gonna do. You can see right here, I trimmed up that, we call it blue xenia, trimmed that up. It's PC rainbow up there. So all in all, everything's looking really good. Like I said, I'm really happy with the way this tank has come along. It's one of my favorite tanks to work on, and I'm really proud of it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good one. See you next time.